No. All right. I'm gonna trade you 2 sheep for that wood. Tell me, honey, does that sound good? 'Cause all I really wanna do is take away longest road from you, yeah. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Hello, fellow gregarious geeks and gamers. Welcome to the 30th episode of the Tabletop Sessions Podcast, where we talk about all things tabletop related that have been occupying the hearts and minds of this international group of gamers over the course of the last 3 weeks. My name is Elias, and this week we'll be competing on behalf of 3 lucky listeners who got selected for the Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion Worldwide giveaway. Stick around for the game show of the week to find out if you were selected and find out if your champion will come through for you. Speaking of your champions, say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. I'm going to be the host of the event today. I'm Dima.
Namaste to our Indian listeners.
How's it? I'm Byron.
How's it?
How's it? Yes, eh?
Yeah, how's it, yeah?
Yeah, no, hey?
Hey, yeah. Guys, for the last time, I keep saying this every episode. You have to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I forgot. I got carried away with being the event show host.
Yeah.
I say, hello, my name is Elias. And then you guys just say, hi, hi, how's it?
I did say my name, though.
I feel I'm...
Byron did say his name.
Oh,
I kind of said my name, and then Ipo started talking, and then Ipo didn't say
guys,
his name.
30 episodes. 30 episodes. Plus bonus episodes.
After 30 episodes, I feel I'm famous enough that everybody recognizes my voice.
We're going to get to a point where people are going to stop going all the way back to episode 1 to listen. So you're going to have to introduce yourself so they can associate that beautifully garlicky voice with Ippokratic.
That's true.
Okay, should we do this again?
No, we're good. This was the introduction.
It's too late. This stays in the episode now, Ipo.
As I mentioned, guys, if you follow us on social media, if you listen to our last episode, you know that we've been running a worldwide giveaway for Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. And we had a bunch of entries. Thank you so much for entering. Those that entered on Instagram, those that entered on Twitter, and those that actually read the entire small text and realized there was a secret entry on our BGG guild. Well done. All of you that entered, we ran it and we picked up 3 names. It's 3 people from 3 different parts of the world, as it should be in a worldwide contest. And myself, Ippokratic, and Byron are going to be representing each of our as your champions in today's game show of the week. So stick through the banter. We get into the game show of the week and find out if you were selected, and more importantly, if you are the winner of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion.
Woohoo!
Okay, I just found that I should have said Namaste. Mera naam hai Ipo.
Oh boy.
What language are you trying to speak?
In Hindi should mean my name
Only
is
Ipo
Ipo.
can make Hindi sound like Japanese.
Seriously, I have so many Indian friends.
I
I've
thought it
never
sounded like
heard
German.
that
He was like,
accent
Mera
before.
naam, hi.
Namaste, mera naam hai. I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's not Japanese, Ipo. But good effort.
Guys, it's southwestern
Japan. Southwestern Japan.
It's very Eastern Hindi.
It's an Indian guy born and raised in southwestern Japan.
Oh boy. So it's almost that time of year where we'd all be preparing to go to Essen, as we have for the last couple of years. I say preparing because it only works sometimes. Other times I say, no, I'll be moving to Canada, so I can't come. And so everyone else drops out, and Ipo's left alone being like, guys, Essen. And his wife is like, if Dima's not going, I'm not going. And then we don't go to Essen. But when it comes to Essen times, it makes me miss you guys the most. We all had an amazing experience at Essen a couple of years ago. Well, everyone but Dima. but who cares? So
Just to clarify,
It's
because
not
I
like she
didn't
was in
go,
Miami or something.
Not because I went and didn't have a good time.
yeah, it's almost as if she takes trips to Miami with her girlfriends every now and then, and she takes like 17 trips to my like 3 every year, so she can't talk shit. But yeah, it makes me miss you guys, and I wish we were going to Essen, but obviously because of COVID, stay safe, don't be stupid, and but the good thing is the good folks over at Essen are trying to come through for us a little bit, isn't that right, Byron?
Yeah, so the good folks over at Essen are still organizing the Messe Spiel.
Or as they're called, the good folks.
Yeah, it's the good folks. Yeah.
No, it's Volk, right? It's Wir sind das Volk, right? So, das Volk, how do you say good in German, Dima?
Gut.
Das Volk gut. Oh, das gut Volk. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
sentence structure still follows. Anyway, they're organizing the Spiel online. And what that basically means is you can chat to people online by the looks of things. There might be some webinars. Not a whole lot is out on the program from what I could see. But they do have a shopping list, and that's what I'm excited about.
Seriously?
Yeah, the worst part about going to Essen to buy board games is you can't.
No, it's sold out. That's what we heard.
You'll get to a booth. Oh, we're sold out. You get to another booth. Oh, you've only got German. Okay, I guess. I guess that's what it's gonna be.
The weirdest ones
And
that
all
were the
the
ones that
top
like only
games.
had it in French, and you're like, why? We're in Germany.
Yeah. So the fact that you'll be able to browse online, buy online, that makes me a happy camper.
So Byron basically wants Essence just to be a board game store. He's
No.
like, convention, psh, I'm just going to go to Cool Stuff Inc.
It's like a pre-order. Are there any like playthroughs and stuff like that?
Sort of, it's still going to be the same 3 days online. Publishers will still be able to present their products. They'll still be able to sell things. There'll be panels, live streams,
Oh, nice.
and they say there'll be other attractions are planned, but I don't know what they are. And when it's in Germany, you always got to wonder that.
I think it's more of like, you know, when we were at Essen, there were the ones that let you play through the game, and there were the ones that just sort of talked you through the game. So I think maybe there'll be like online video streams of this is what the game is like, this is what a turn looks like. So
Well, saying that, one of the sponsors for the Essen Online is Board Game Arena.
oh,
I think there might be something that could happen there.
That's
Maybe we get
very
sneak peeks
cool.
of games online.
that's very cool. If they could do
Otherwise,
Yeah.
Board Game Arena would be a great place to organize Essen participant tournament kind of things.
What is the opening date for Essen?
22nd of October.
Okay, guys. So next year, let's go to Essen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys all have hazmat suits, let's go.
Yeah, well, my country's letting me
that.
fly.
Yeah, at the rate this is going, I don't know if we're all going to Essen next year. But yeah. But if it is, I'm in.
So I'm excited for what the experience could be online. I do feel like we're gonna lose a lot of that essence, if that makes sense.
You mean standing
Like-
in line outside for hours before getting
Where
in?
Yeah, but it's at waiting outside in line for hours with friends.
It's
Talking
very
shit,
it's very
having a
cute
good
that
time.
you just called it a line. You mean
Yeah, it's more of a
it's a
gathering.
horde it's the running of the geeks. It's just
It's like a river of crowd. But I think I'm gonna miss the beer and the hot dogs.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
yeah.
And Martin,
I mean, I'm not gonna
You know,
lie.
Martin
the food
Wallace,
was
I mean-
great.
And meeting Martin Wallace, yeah, and then taking a
I-
selfie with this game next to
Ipo,
him.
I think you
Yeah.
mean sausage, not hot dogs, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll be invited back next year.
Mm, yeah,
we call
it's
call
true.
Bratwursts hot dogs.
yeah, you're right.
This is why you won't get the visa to Germany.
It's true. If he wasn't a Greek citizen,
all I know is our first night we arrived super late, and we walk it. We find the only place that's open is a gyros place, right?
It was
So-
good gyros.
It was good, but for Germany especially. But
Yeah,
Ipo's like, guys, watch me. This is how you order a gyro. And he walks right up to the thing and he leans against the pillar and he's like, one without fries. And the lady's like, what? Oh man.
We were
Didn't
the
you also
only
try to
losers
speak
in,
Greek to
in
them?
Germany ordering
It's not our
gyros.
fault. We arrived super
That-
late. Everything closed.
Yeah, like
Just saying.
Only
yeah,
the
I'm just
Greeks
saying.
were open.
that being said, we should have just had McDonald's at the airport.
Oh boy.
They have the
Oh,
McRib
no.
burger still.
No, that would be
I was
even
worse.
worse.
Happier with the gyros actually.
Well, okay, I guess.
It was one of the best gyros in Duisburg.
Is that where we were, Duisburg? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we were
Our
in
place was
Duisburg.
in. We were not even in
What's
Essen.
incredible is there's 2 Greek restaurants in Duisburg. I think Ipo's kid just walked into the room.
He's doing like a BBC dad thing.
Oh, I wish we recorded that.
Oh my god.
So coming
Yeah,
back,
sorry about this. I'm gonna apologize to BBC One.
Hashtag, oh yeah, oh my god, it's exactly like that.
He was like
I
shooing
wish
his
Lena
daughter.
walked in and like grabbed her and like threw her head and banged
Yeah.
the door. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, anyway, back on topic. We're
the other
a
exciting thing
focused
about conventions.
podcast with a monthly content calendar. Let's proceed.
Exactly. So for this month, we had Byron visiting virtually Essen and checking on games.
Yeah.
What did you see there?
Well,
Byron?
when I was, I was walking around the various booths online, and I stopped by one or two that looked quite interesting to me. The first booth had a game on display called Moonrakers.
Wow.
It's designed.
Tell us
It's designed
more.
by Austin Harrison and Max Anderson, and it is essentially a self-published game, which is always interesting when you see that sort of stuff.
May I say that I like the name of the publisher? Like 4
Ivy
games,
Games.
but the four is written in.
Is that 4
Roman,
games or is it Ivy Games?
I would say 4 games. It's cool if you say 4. I like IV in Roman.
I just want to point out that you said
the-
it's a cool thing that's self-published. All that means is that it was a Kickstarter. Like-
Yeah, but it's not like a Kickstarter about Stone
Yeah,
Stronghold.
that's true.
something like that.
Especially for a game with such lovely looking like graphic design. It's
Yeah.
they've done a good job here.
Yeah, I really like the design. I love the color.
So what else did you see at the booth, man?
So when people were displaying this game, it looked interesting. There was a lot of like alliances and things. I do terribly at those sort of games, so I might give this one a miss.
I
since it-
actually really like this one.
Could you give us some more information about the game, please?
Sure. Moonrakers is a 1 to 5 player game, although I wouldn't ever really play this kind of game as one player because it really says a lot of the game is about negotiation and alliances.
Unless,
Yeah, teaming up and going on missions.
but you're never alone with schizophrenia.
What the description from Board Game Geek says is the players form a loose band of mercenaries, but while they're united on missions, they're all secretly trying to screw each other over, which pretty much sounds like every single board game night I've ever played.
It really sounds great. I'm really into this game. So you kind of have to negotiate with allies and try to get people to go on missions with you so that you can get more prestige points because you can go on bigger missions. But then you have to convince the person to join you by offering them, something.
Probably a share of the reward. or
Yeah,
something.
like a good share of the reward, something that's going to incentivize them. And apparently you can backstab each other and
What's interesting is that it has all those features, but it's a deck building game.
yeah.
So I don't think I've seen a deck building game like that. I think the closest thing I can think to that is something like Study in Emerald, which is a deck building game technically, but it's not so much creating alliances as finding out who's on your side because it's a secret role game. But this adds like the element of negotiation. There's basically no negotiation in a study in Emerald. So it's cool. It's unique. I
Yeah,
like that.
I thought it was very interesting.
The other thing I like about it is the size of the box. It's not a big game.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's really
So-
important.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
a lot of game in a small package.
I like the components. I like that this ship building with negotiations. So it might be a galaxy tracker with negotiations, maybe.
I don't think anything would be
No.
a Galaxy Trucker
No,
without
no.
Vlada. I think the central recipe or ingredient for Galaxy Trucker is Vlada Gvatel. So
The,
Don't
the
insult
components
Elias
look
Ipo.
amazing.
Well, basically, after I was stopped at this booth, I saw a strange-looking cat that was multicolored, and I sort of followed the cat, and it led me down to a nice soft blanket where I sat down, and then I looked up, and I saw this new board game called Calico, which is about cats and quilts.
Brrr.
what was that?
That was the cat purring.
That's another Kickstarter.
Yeah, this one gave me like flashbacks of Cartographer. I just yeah, Brian, go ahead. Tell us a bit about
Look,
it.
the game might be terrible. It might be good.
I've heard good
I'm leaning-
things. I've heard good things.
It's essentially a puzzle tile laying game, where you're trying to follow the patterns of your blankets to create sort of like Takinoko patterns, like gardener plots. I guess,
Sure. Yeah.
to try and get those patterns right. And if you get them right, it makes it more cozy. So then the cats come to your blankets, and that's kind of the whole point of the game.
I will say one thing. It's from the team that brought us Point Salad. And I really liked Point Salad. Do you remember Point Salad?
Yeah, I do.
It was fun, wasn't it?
I felt like that was fun. This one just grabbing tiles and placing them into patterns. The cutest thing I found was that if you get the right pattern combination, the cat comes and curls up on your quilt, which I
Dima,
thought was
Dima.
really cute.
You're allergic to cats.
But that's it.
Control
I
yourself.
I felt like it would be another cartographer with me like wanting to kill myself, waiting for everyone to place their pieces on their board and put patterns. Oh,
I'm not
no,
getting
no.
cartographers. I'm getting patchwork vibes. But
Yes, Patrick, I meant the feeling I got, the boredom, the extreme boredom.
yeah.
Like I just, yeah.
You should know
It's a
that
simple
in
game.
our Gloomhaven giveaway contest, I asked people what they would like to see us review, and Calico got a couple of votes. So that's definitely a game on a lot of people's minds.
Oops.
So after Dima just shat all over it
I guess I'll
for
be the
no
one to have to
reason,
buy it
because
and
because
buy
the
it.
colors reminded her of Cartographer.
No, not the colors, the gameplay. Like when I was reading through the gameplay, I just felt wasn't
I think
a
you're
lot
being
to
very
it.
judgmental, like a cat. And
I think that's you being very catty.
I think it's beautiful. Beth Sobel does such good art. Like Herbaceous, Wingspan, like her art is genuinely top-notch stuff. I don't know the designer, Kevin Russ, but it's cool. I guess if I gave a shit about cats, I would totally get this game.
It is very beautiful, and when I read the reviews on BGG, a lot of people were saying this is a great family game. Like even when you're at like family gatherings, it's just such a good game to bring to the table that everyone can
It's also
participate in.
it's also
So
bullshit
It's a
because
light game.
if they wanted to attract cats, they would be building cardboard boxes. Because if I was
They didn't do their research.
if I was gonna do, I mean, I know my dogs like to come, but my dogs are really old. But basically, they just like to sit on anything fluffy and soft. So, like, I'll find Bella sitting like inside the shelf on top of a blanket or something. So, in my experience, you either have dogs instead of cats, or replace the quilts with cardboard boxes. These are the things that I think about.
I don't think you can get different pattern cardboard boxes.
Oh.
Oh. I
Have you
forgot
ever
about the
been to a
triple-
gift wrapping
triple
shop,
pleating.
sir?
How would you like your cardboard box? Single pleat or double pleat?
You could totally do that. I've gone to.
You could zigzag or wavy.
There was a store in Qatar in Laguna Mall that was a store for wrapping gifts, and they just had all sorts of different boxes you could put your gifts in and bags and stuff. So, checkmate, sir.
Yeah, you done me a heckin'.
All right. Anything else about Calico?
Well, until we've played it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't want to judge it until I played it. Unlike Dima.
Now you guys made me feel like a bad person.
but you are. But Rado likes it. Oh, look what Rado said. He said this game gets so crunchy. That's not a problem. You just take these objective tiles, you flip them over face down, and then the game really becomes a pure gateway. Okay, that's really bad. Rado starts with something that attracts me. This game is crunchy. That's awesome. Then he's like, so you can avoid that.
And make it vanilla.
God damn it, Rado. I was trying to make a point here. Oh, man. It looks cool. It looks cool. And it's gorgeous. So, and I think if you like quilting or cats or tile laying games, it seems to be a winner, right, Byron?
Yeah, I mean, I might get one for my sister who likes cats. So.
All right, cool. But Ippo, as a cat owner, how do you feel about this game?
I really don't like these kind of themes, but as you said before, the art is amazing.
Can I ask why you don't
I-
like these themes? Because you're not like I love fantasy sci-fi kind of guy. You're like, building a peat factory in 1823. Like,
No, I like social themes, like I don't know, something with social interaction. I mean, this. I understand that this theme is attractive to young people, and
what?
When I say young people, I mean children.
Whoa!
Okay.
And
Shots fired.
Wow.
but I was gonna say that the main thing is that it's, as you said, it's beautiful, and then I realized that it's from Beth Sobel, who, as you said, she made Wingspan and Arboretum and Viticulture. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
She's doing all this, and so I think I will give it a try.
All right, cool. Anything else you want to talk about, Byron?
If you have the opportunity to watch Essen online, I suggest just do it. Just have fun. You know, you can sort of join your friends on Skype or Zoom or something, and pretend you're actually at Essen together watching the interviews.
Well, the only way to do that
Pretend you're
is if
actually-
you call them from the inside of like a subway cart or something.
Yeah, just get a lot of people talking outside very loudly, pushing into you, so you're frustrated as
Oh,
well.
and don't sit down for like 9 hours. Just,
Yeah,
just keep walking
sitting.
around.
It's standing up.
It's called the Essen Standing Challenge.
This is how Essen gets you to buy
Oh,
games,
yeah.
because you will literally just sit at any game you can find because your legs are so sore. And you're like, fuck it. They gave me
Man.
a seat. I'm buying the game.
That's prime real estate.
I feel like I need to pay them for this chair.
Guys, we should arrange an Essen day, as you said, and we should stand up the whole day and cook sausages and have beer and play games in Board Game Arena.
Sounds just like a
maybe.
barbecue in my house.
It sounds like a typical Saturday for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to play games with people that we don't know. That's
So
true.
just remember, if you can't go to Essen, just have a barbecue.
Just get some sausage, get some beer, you're sorted.
Same thing.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, speaking of beautiful games like Calico, Dima and I recently picked up a gorgeous game from one of our local game stores over here called Tang Garden. I had my eye on this game when it was on Kickstarter, but because I knew I would be moving from Qatar at the time that it would be fulfilling, I didn't know like where my address would be or what would happen, so I didn't back it. So we called ahead, and they said they had one copy left, and we're like, all right, book it, we're on our way, and we head over and we pick up Tang Garden. This is a game designed by Francesco Testini and Pierluca Zizzi. It's published by Thundergriff Games in 2020, and it has incredible art by Matthew Mizek. I just want to tell you a little bit about the game, and Dima is going to jump in with her thoughts as well. So the main game is that you are engineers building the imperial garden of the majestic Clear Lake during the Tang Dynasty in China. So the emperor wants to build a gorgeous, beautiful garden, and he's hired you engineers to do that. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and basically every turn you just have to make one or two. You have to decide what your main action is going to be. You do one. You have two options, and you do one. So very simple. You can either build the garden by placing tiles, trees, rocks, and water, and you're going to place these tiles from 4 stacks, which have an open tile at the top and closed tiles underneath the stack. So you're going to be picking one of them and you're going to be placing them. And as you place them, you're going to increase your. You have a player board that measures your water, your rock, and your green, like knowledge, basically greenery knowledge, and that basically goes up as you expand the different areas. And then the other major thing you can do instead of adding tiles is you can add decorations to the garden, such as bridges, pavilions, fish, birds, lotus flowers, 6 different types of trees. And the game literally comes with like plastic and cardboard standees for each of these. So you literally have 3D pavilions that you can put people in, 3D bridges. You have all these different trees. So the trees are all different colors and they're little cardboard stand-ups. It's just incredible. And then other than that, after you do your main action, which is one of those two, you can do some optional actions. The most important one of which, I'm not going to go into the other ones, the most important one of which is influencing characters. So at the start of the game, you get characters from a deck of cards. These characters give you a special ability. Now, when you reach a certain point on your track that's counting your water, your greenery knowledge, and your stone knowledge, when you get to a certain point, you're able to influence other characters. You can influence these characters, and then they come join you. Now, when they join you, now you have 2 characters. So you have to decide which one you're keeping and which one you're going to be placing on the board. The one that you keep is going to continue to give you that ability or give you a new ability if you choose to keep the new one. And the one that you don't keep, you no longer have that ability, but that person has something that they're looking for in the garden. So you have different characters: the emperor, his concubine, the empress, the architect, the sword dancer. So the sword dancer, she gives you an ability when you're playing. Every time you pick up a landscape token, you get some coins. However, when you place the sword dancer down, you no longer have that ability. But at the end of the game, as the sword dancer stares into the horizon, every waterfall she can see in the horizon will give you points. The emperor likes to stare at and see dragons. So if you have dragons in his horizon view, you'll get a bunch of points, and so on. So it's this interesting thing where you're changing your ability over time and placing out different things, characters that are going to score for you. The characters are beautiful, wonderful things, and a lot of them are similar, but there's enough variation in there. Before I get into my thoughts on the game, I'm going to give you a break from my voice. And Dima, why don't you tell us what you thought about Tang Garden?
So my thoughts, first thing is the art is so beautiful. The pieces are great. Like the 3D trees, pavilions, and bridges are they're they're such good quality. Like the cardboard is thick and then there's the plastic like roof of the pavilion on top. The trees are my favorite part because each tree is a different color and it's a 3D tree. And this isn't even a Kickstarter. Like this is just the base game.
Yeah, we don't have the Kickstarter edition. We
I
have the, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think we've ever owned a game like the base version of a game that was this nice. Like the quality of the pieces were yeah,
I'm
such
with
good
you.
Sorry,
quality.
what's more in the Kickstarter?
I don't know. I think you upgrade some of the pieces to be nicer. I didn't check it, to tell you the truth.
So some of the pieces are still tokens, like the flowers that you place, they're still just regular flat round tokens. Um so that's the art. I was really surprised by how much strategy was in this game because it was so beautiful. So um I yeah, I just wasn't expecting to enjoy the game so much. I love that there are so many different ways to score points. So you can decorate the garden. You can plant trees, build pavilions, bridges, and when you do that, um, you keep the card version of the piece you play. So if you plant a tree, if you plant a pine tree, for example, you keep that card next to you to show that you've planted that pine tree. And then for the trees, for example, for every other type of tree you plant, it'll increase your score. So one tree is 1.2, different trees is 4 points, 9, 16, up to 25 points. So like decorating, you're incentivized to have specific combinations of decorations. And then when you influence characters, it's really nice to have like the end game goal that you're working towards. So if I pick a character who wants a horizon of animals, I'll work towards that. But at the same time, if I have a turn where I'm supposed to build the horizon, that's the only option I have on this turn, and I don't have a goal to build towards, I can check what Elias's goal is and make sure that I don't build towards his goal. So if he needs to see, I don't know, a waterfall on his view and I'm taking a waterfall horizon view, I'll put it on the opposite side of where his character is looking, for example. So you don't ever feel like your turn is a waste. That's how I felt, because you can work towards something you have, or you can work towards screwing someone else's plan over, which I really enjoy. Your actions are very dependent on each other. So that's how I felt, at least. So when if Elias decorated, then all the floor tiles are restocked. So when I have 4 options of floor tiles, so water, forest, etc., I'll place tiles. I'll build the garden. If there are only 2 tile options revealed on my turn, then I'll decorate. So it's really, I do feel like the other person's turn does influence your turn. You really can't plan ahead. And it's very important to keep up with what the other player is doing. Like, I don't think I've ever focused this much on other players' turns in a game. So those are the pros for me.
Yeah, at one point she had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, "Should I play my turn?" And she's like, "No, think about your turn, but do not act until I arrive." And so I just sat there and waited.
Because sometimes, like for example, Elias knew I was working on pavilions, so on his turn he made sure not to add tiles on the board in the garden that allowed for more pavilions to be built. You know, which might have sabotaged a plan that he was working on, but it like, you know, risk versus benefit. So it was really fun. The cons in the game. So one of the things that I found difficult, that we both found difficult, was the icons. So some of the icons are really small, and there's a little drawing inside the circle, and that's
Black and white drawing.
yeah, and that's what you're supposed to identify, like in the horizon, which was difficult. We'd always have to get up and check exactly what the icon was. So that was, yeah, that could be improved. And then one other thing, I think there are 11 characters. How many are there?
There's a bunch.
Yeah, so I think there are 11 or 12 characters, but in every game, so we sometimes influence up to 4 characters each.
Yeah.
So one thing maybe for future expansions is to have more abilities for each character. So
they do. So
they do?
yeah, so there's a couple
great.
expansions, Ghost Stories and the Golden Age, and they all come with extra characters. There's also individual characters you can buy in packs. There's the Herbalist, there's the Wayfarer, and so on.
Awesome.
So there is expandability that's there for this game. Because I also had the exact same thought, and that I would like to see more of the different characters that you can influence. So I looked it up, and that seems to be the case.
So that's my view on the game. Yeah.
May I say that all this time that you were talking, I was looking at pictures in BGG of the game. And the game, I think it's the second time in my life that I want to play a game just because of the components and the art.
Literally, that's why I bought it. I knew nothing about the game and I bought it.
I mean, it's amazing. I just realized the name of the art designer is Matthew Mizak, a Polish guy. And I was waiting for you to ask me what was the first time. You didn't. I'm going to say it. So the first time was when I saw the U-boat that I have never played.
Oh, yeah, because it had the huge 3D boat.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Words cannot describe how beautiful this game is.
Let me jump in. And let me jump in with the cons, because Dima literally hit it on the head with the only two things I had a problem with in the game. One, it's clearly putting beauty over functionality. So sometimes it's impossible to see what icons are. Like, I needed to wear my reading glasses to play effectively. And still, in the last game we played, it caused me to miss one of the icons on one of the available views, which was on a panorama, which was the only one in the game that Dima needed. And I had my eye out for it, but I couldn't see it because it was a few feet away from me. And it caused Dima to get an extra 6 points, and I lost the game by 5. Now, I should have paid more attention. I should have played better. I'm not saying I would have won. Dima would have adapted. But what I'm trying to say is that missing one icon that happens to be like on the table literally cost me 6 points in a game I lost by 5. So there's something like that. So you have to be very wary of these icons, especially if your vision isn't like 20/20. It's not easy. And the other thing is exactly what Dima said. I feel like more variety in the characters would be amazing, and more variety in decorations, because whilst there's a big deck of decorations card, there's a lot of repetition, and there's only so many things you can do. But they seem to be doing all of this. They have expansions for other trees you can add. They have Ghost Stories and Golden Age. They have characters like the Herbalist. They have the Swan, which is a decoration. So it looks like they have a lot of stuff in the thing. So this is not a criticism I really can put on the game, because they've already corrected it. So good on you, Thundergriff Games. So I guess that's my only issue is, I mean, if you're over 18 years old and your vision isn't perfect, it's not easy to see those little icons. But it's fucking gorgeous, which makes me to my overwhelmingly positive views on this game. Not only is it beautiful, it is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. This is an AK game through and through. Our friend AK literally just buys games because they're beautiful. And it was so beautiful, I just assumed AK had it, because that's the kind of game they would have.
Maybe we should establish an AK rating.
Yes.
Like, this is a 3 AK game.
We rate a game on a rating of AK to Ippo. AK being beautiful games, Ippo could be a piece of cardboard with some pencil marks on it.
Ippo being no neoprene mats.
So on this game, this is a solid AK game, as opposed to something like, I don't know. Give me...
Yeah, don't say anything. Please don't say anything.
Something that looks like a spreadsheet, right? Which would be
the Greek Civil War.
Yes, what's that? Anantares.
Pax Porfiriana, the first.
No, Pax Porfiriana is somewhere in the middle. It's like a halfway point between Ippo.
Pax Porfiriana is like where the word file of 90s.
Okay,
Lower than middle.
If Ippo is a 1 and AK is a 10, it's a 3. How about that? Okay.
Yeah, fair.
It's a Byron.
No, Byron's an 8.
Hey.
Byron's an 8.
Ah, you're right.
I'm like a 4. So that's fair. Anyway, we've lost everyone. So the point is, it's incredibly gorgeous. On the AK rating scale, it's an AK. An AK out of AK. Okay?
True.
The other thing that really stood out to me, and I think Dima will attest to this, we didn't want the game to end, because we just wanted to keep building the garden.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, at some point, we had a chance to end the game, because the game ends when a certain number of panorama tokens are left, or when you deplete a tile. And Dima was like, I don't think I'm going to take that panorama token. Because we just wanted the game to keep going, because there was so many empty spaces and we wanted to fill it up with gorgeous pagodas and bridges. So that's an amazing thing for a game to have. The next thing is the strategy seems to reveal itself over repeated plays.
Yeah.
So on our first play, I really felt the game was fun, but I didn't feel much strategy. I was just doing things and going. As we played the game more more and more the strategy revealed itself, which leads me to my next point that I really enjoy. You can think and act several steps ahead, almost in a chess-like manner. So you think, okay, I can give Dima certain options that are more attractive than other options. When you're picking decorations, you take 2 decoration cards plus as many as there are face-down stacks on the board. So if you put her in a position where there's no face-down stacks on the board, she's not going to take a decoration because there's only 2 cards you can draw. It's an inefficient action. So you can plan several steps that I had at the beginning of one of the games we played. I wasn't getting decoration actions because Dima kept doing it and then resetting the stacks. And I was like, I need to figure this out. So I took an inefficient action, so about 20% through the game, and then basically locked Dima out of decorations for the rest of the game because it was an inefficient action. But I chose to do one of those to lock her out of the game. So there's a very interesting thing you can do there. There's also thinking about, as Dima said, we're tied on pavilions at the moment. There's no spaces for pavilions on the board. If I put that tile, it will give a pavilion option. So if Dima draws a pavilion decoration card and chooses that card, she could pass me. And then that could be a 6-point swing. So you actually do have to think ahead, which is astonishing for a game that could literally sell thousands and thousands of copies just based on how it looks.
Yeah.
So well done on that.
And for such a short game, like it's not a very long game.
Yeah, it's about an hour.
But I really felt like every move I made, I had to think through how would it impact me and how it would impact Elias.
Yeah.
Because if you give away a free opportunity to someone, it might really impact you in the score.
And the next thing, Dima already touched on this, I don't want to talk too much, is I did feel like there was a variety of strategies, which would be helped more if I collect all these other characters and stuff, which I think I should. But like deciding whether you're going to be focusing on pushing the cubes up the 3 tracks, which will help you to get more influenced characters, as opposed to collecting coins or set collections in the decorations to get endgame scoring. So you got to balance all of these, but you will focus on one versus the other. So in the last game we played, Dima focused a lot on getting characters out, influence, and I focused a lot on set collection, and it was a close game. So there's that. And the last point I want to make, which is something we really should consider with every game. This is an excellent value for money, in my opinion. I paid 67 Canadian dollars, which including tax, which is 13% in Ontario. And if you include the tax, that's $50 US. For a game that looks this good, has this many gorgeous components, and has gameplay and replayability to boot, I think this game is an excellent value, and I think it's underpriced. Based on what things are going for in Kickstarter, I think you're getting a lot of value for this game. They could easily have charged $80 to $100, and I don't think that would have impacted their sales too much. So I hats off to Thundergriff Games. Obviously, hats off to the designers and hats off to the artists. But the strategic decision of placing this game at $50 really impressed me.
Yeah, me too.
And to end what I'm basically going to be talking about, this is a game that stays in the collection for now and for the foreseeable future. And it's not a game I came into with high expectations. I just thought it was beautiful. And it really impressed me. And I think I can highly recommend Tang Garden to everybody, to people that are starting out. It's simple enough. And people that like deeper strategy, I think, will see those 4 or 5 steps ahead that they can plan out in order to have a more efficient game.
Yeah,
That was
totally agree.
Tang Garden.
So, speaking about beautiful games with 3D components, I was playing Santorini. Santorini was designed by Gord! Exclamation mark. I don't know. I guess.
I think you say, Gord!
I mean, that's his name in BGG. I don't know exactly. And the beautiful art is by a couple living in Quebec. Kudos to Canadians. Lina Cossette and David Forrest. Mr. and Mrs. Caddington. So guys, Santorini is a very simple concept, okay? It's a 6x6 grid. Each player has 2 meeples. It's a 1 to 4 player game. 2 to 4 player game. So there are either 2 teams playing against each other or 2 players playing against each other. And if you play 3 players, it's one on its own. And you have 2 meeples, as I said, and you move one space, one of the meeples, and then you build next to your meeple. You build a level of a building. You can build up to 3 levels, and every time you move, you can climb 1 level. If you achieve to climb on the 3rd level, you win the game. And that's all that matters in this game.
And for those that actually care to do their research, it's not actually meeples. You're using miniatures.
And for those who do the extra research,
right.
it's not actually miniatures. It's little figures of gods.
No, you're not gods.
Oh.
Yeah,
The gods are cards.
Hermes.
You are humans that are being influenced by
that's
those
right.
gods.
Forget everything I said.
Shut the fuck up, Byron.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
You try to put me in my place?
This is how I psych
Who are
Elias
you
out before
talking
game show.
to? Who are you talking to? Do
I
look
like to build Elias up so that I
Do
can
look
take
like
him down.
Ippokratic?
And for those that care, the board is not just a board; it's a rock.
It's an island,
Where-
actually, like Santorini.
Yes, it's like Santorini is like a rock, yeah. And on top of the rock, there's the
Ippo,
board.
I have a very important question to ask you. Actually, it's a 2-part question. Part 1, how does Santorini compare to Mykonos? And 2, while playing this game, do people randomly break out into verses of ABBA songs?
What?
Mamma Mia was filmed in Santorini, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, it was.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Mamma,
Yes,
no, Mamma
I'm
Mia.
broken
Oh,
hearted.
dude, yeah, I remember specifically them singing on those like.
It's in Santorini. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Mamma
And the
Mia
white
is in
and blue.
Skopelos.
Hold on.
Is in Skopelos in another Aegean island.
You're right.
And
It's also white and
It's
blue.
in Skopelos. You're right.
Oh.
People just shut
which
me
is
down.
a green island, especially compared to Santorini, that it's just a rock without trees or anything.
Speaking of that, Byron texted me the other day about a week ago, and he says, "I bet I can get a song stuck in your head." And I was like, "Okay." So he sends me lyrics, and I'm like, "I don't know what that is."
You see, he doesn't
and,
remember
and then
me.
he goes, "That's an ABBA song," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Then he goes,
No.
"I'm so white sometimes."
It's true.
Oh, man.
I'm unashamed.
Oh.
And I just watched Mamma Mia too, by the way.
Oh god.
But replying to your first actually question, the difference between Mykonos and Santorini is that I have not been in Santorini, but I have been in Mykonos.
Mykonos.
Mykonos is more for party animals, while Santorini is
Like
for
you.
Just like
Party
you.
animals.
Hey, when you saw those photos of Ippo when you had hair, you'd know.
That's how he lost his hair from partying too hard.
To be honest, when I visited Mykonos, I had hair.
And then you lost all your hair. Don't do
That's
drugs,
so long
kids.
ago.
It was a bad trip.
Okay, let me say this: the game, the good things about this game. Okay, I love the 3D components, the craft. I love the buildings. I love the art that was made by this couple that have also made Brass Birmingham and Brass Lancashire
And Charterstone, I think.
and Charterstone. Thank you very much. And I don't know if it's Lancashire or Lancashire.
Lancashire.
Oh, thanks. I like it that you can play it as a family game. I have played it with my kids. I have played it as 2, 3, and 4 player count. And I like playing it with my kids, but I can also play it with adults, which is, I think, rare for a game. We can play it with adults as a medium light, of course, abstract game. It's nice that there is this 2 to 4 count where you can play team against team. It's a thing that I always appreciate in a game. But this is also a negative point because, to be honest, the 4-player game doesn't really work. Or you can imagine this like playing chess 2 versus 2. So 2 players are just need to come up with a strategy and
Unless you
discuss
can read
it.
each other's minds so that you understand what your what your teammate's
Or-
strategy is.
Or unless which is weird, of course, or unless you decide not to discuss the strategy with your partner, which is even more weird.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The next thing I like very much is the endless replayability of the game, because each player has these gold cards with special powers, and the combination is I wouldn't say endless, but it's 40.
Close
It's
to.
40 different cards.
Yeah.
So it's 40 times 40
Yeah.
different combinations.
40 times
That you can have
39. Ippo,
Yes.
have you played with the Golden Fleece expansion?
No.
So there's a couple expansions I have for Santorini, which would even increase that number. So one,
Even more special powers. Right?
no.
What?
So one
What?
is there's a hero deck, right? So the Epic Heroes deck, instead of a god power, you get a hero who does something super powerful, but you can only do it once during the game. So when you choose to use your ability, matters a lot. Lastly, the other one I'm talking about is the Golden Fleece power. You literally put a Golden Fleece statue on the board, and you only have that power if you start your turn adjacent to the Golden Fleece statue. So
Ah.
throw these in there, and you literally have endless possibilities. So you're not wrong about that.
That was amazing. And the last thing for me is that I don't really like two-player games, 1 versus 1. And I guess one of the things that I don't like in these games is that it really helps analysis paralysis. I mean, if one of the players wants to really think a lot about it, he can, use the entire day.
That's true.
Just to let you know that there is an expansion that I have no idea, but I like the title. So the name is Santorini, New York,
Oh, really?
What?
which was so funny. I mean, Santorini, New York.
Oh my God.
For me, the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear Santorini,
Oh,
New
it's
York
so
is
cool, Ivo.
it's a Greek restaurant in New York, right? So I Googled it, and there's really a Greek restaurant in New York named Santorini. So you can go to that Greek restaurant and play Santorini, New York in Santorini, New York.
Guys, this is why you come to this podcast, for facts like these that blow
You
your
can't argue
mind.
with
You
these
can't
kind of
find
facts.
anywhere else.
I kind of want to get this.
Yeah,
And
you
go
kind
play
of
it.
sold it to me, Ippo.
It looks so good.
And go play it to Santorini, New York, next to a tzatziki.
The board doesn't look as nice, though.
It's the island of New York,
Yeah, but it's not like
And-
a raised
of
island.
Manhattan.
And-
No, I guess it
And you're
isn't.
building skyscrapers, right?
You are building skyscrapers, but he's right. It's not on a 3D board, which naturally means it's a terrible game. Good find, Byron.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm wondering what gods they have. Oh no, it's not gods. It's positions. Firefighter,
Maybe.
crane
I
operator.
thought it-
Operator.
Yeah.
Oh, it could have been presidents.
Or rich members of the Illuminati.
Oh, even better. Like
Rothschild, Rockefeller, all that start with
Oh.
R.
Trump.
Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I've never seen that. Thank you.
And that was my review of Santorini.
I agree with most of what you said. I think it's not very good at 4. I think it's worse at 3. I hate it at 3. I think it's phenomenal at 2. And I think it's a lot of fun, and figuring out how the powers play off of each other is incredible. And I'm really glad I backed it on Kickstarter because I got all the stuff with it. And it's just, it's really nice and tactile feeling as well. Like, I don't know if you know this, but before Santorini looked like this, Santorini was literally an abstract game with, like, you played with stones and then you would cap it off with a thing. And he used to, as a teacher, the designer used to use it to teach his kids stuff, right? His students. So changing the theme, adding the powers, you'd think, oh, adding the powers would wildly imbalance an abstract game, but that's not really the point. It's a game you can play in 10 minutes. And the way the powers bounce off of each other is the best thing about the game. So you could literally play it without the powers if you have a stick up your ass. But like if but if you don't, play with the powers. It's a lot more fun. So I also agree Santorini is a great game, and that's the one that's not leaving my collection either. Also, very beautiful game. So I'm with you on it.
Yeah, I love it at 2 players.
Oh, that was helpful.
I mean, I'm not Greek, so I don't have that rich heritage behind my game.
So after that wonderful insight on the game, it's time for the game show of the week, baby.
Finally!
Guys, you have to cheer more for your peeps, the people you're representing.
That was my lion call because it's Jaws of the Lion. I can't do a lion call. Byron, how do lions sound in South Africa?
Dangerous. They sound very dangerous.
We don't have lions in Ghana, so.
Oh, well, you're lucky.
If you're having a brain freeze, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 seconds and I can't spare one. I got 99 seconds and I can't spare one.
Everyone, welcome to this week's game show. I got 99 seconds.
All right, guys. Before Dima continues, as you all know, as I've said multiple times, we've had a worldwide giveaway for Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. And it's been running over all our platforms. And yesterday, I sat and I did the drawing for the games. The first person whose name was drawn to be represented by Ippo the Greek. From their Twitter entry, Vijaya Raj 613.
Yes! Namaste!
The next drawing, coming in from Cape Town, South Africa, represented by another South African and the winner of the last giveaway, Byron Byreezy, the Breezy Sharknado. We have Sadai from Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Can Byron do it again? Can Byron win another
Look,
giveaway
we all know Elias
for
is
another
the greatest
South
at game
African?
shows. Elias is the greatest at
yeah,
game
but you
shows.
won root for a board game guru.
I just take this all as a positive.
And lastly, the last name that was pulled out from Canada, represented by a Canadian kind of resident at this time, from Twitter, represented by yours truly, Sean Holmstrom.
In the north corner of the ring.
Shivering in the north corner. So you three have been picked. Sean Holmstrom, Sadai, and Vijaya Raj 613. I will be presenting Sean, Byron will be representing Sadai, and Ippokratic will be representing Vijaya.
I love that we're representing different continents.
That's what we do here. That's what we do. So I'm done talking. I'm going to hand this over to Dima. Now, if you're listening, just root for us. We need that energy. Any cheers, it can change time. It can change what happened. So, give us that energy and we'll get this done for you.
History isn't written yet.
I can't imagine just the whole Asian continent cheering for me.
You've been doing so well with all the greetings, though.
True. Thank you.
Well,
okay, so the game rules for this week. You will each be given 99 seconds to answer as many questions as you can. I won't move on to the next question until you either give an answer or say pass. I will not let you know if your answers were correct or wrong until the time is up. I've prepared 18 questions for each of you. If you get through all the questions, I'll re-ask the ones that you said pass on until the 99 seconds are up. All good? Any questions?
Straightforward.
Ready.
Okay, Byron, you're up first.
Oh, damn it.
You have a timer?
Yeah, just turning
I
on
was
the
not
timer.
expecting that.
You usually get asked for your opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I normally come second. What is this? Going first? What?
I'm happy to take another first volunteer if you guys want.
No, Byron, do it.
Byron, you can do
alpha-
this though. You can do this. I believe in you.
I mean, I'm not as good as Elias, but,
No one is.
Okay.
I'm trying to build this confidence so that I can knock it down.
Ready?
Yep.
Go. Name the publisher of Pandemic.
Z-Man Games.
Name the designer of Scythe.
Jamie Stegmaier.
Name a game with clothes as the theme.
Rita Porter.
Name a game designed by Eric Lang.
Blood Rage.
Name a game published by Portal Games.
Pass.
Name a game with a rodent.
Cockroach Poker.
Name a game ranked between 10 and 20 on BGG.
Through the Ages, a new story of civilization.
Name the publisher of Viticulture.
That would be Stonemaier Games.
Name the designer of Seven Wonders.
Bruno Cathala.
Name
Nice.
What year was Pandemic released?
2015.
What is the maximum
no.
player count of Lords of Waterdeep?
6.
Name a game designed by Stefan Feld.
Bonfire.
Name a game published by Rio Grande Games.
Is it one of pass?
Name a game with dwarves.
That's Elias's favorite game. But Lord of the Rings.
Name a game that has a BGG weight over 3.5.
Terra Mystica.
Okay. 9 points for Byron.
Well done. That was
Nice.
great.
Well-
Good job.
Well done, yeah.
It's hard under pressure.
I believe it.
It did, yeah. No,
Okay.
you did great.
Okay, Ipo, you ready?
Yes.
You're up next. 3, 2, 1. Name the publisher of Terraforming Mars.
Pass.
Name one designer of Brass Birmingham.
Martin Wallace.
Name a murder mystery game.
Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective.
Name a game designed by Cole Worley.
Root.
Name a game published by Fantasy Flight Games.
Twilight Imperium.
Name a game with fish.
Go Fish.
Name a game ranked between 20 and 50 on BGG.
Yokohama.
Name the publisher of Codenames.
Czech Games.
Name the designer of Fields of Arle.
Pass.
What year was Through the Ages, A Story of Civilization released?
2007.
What is the maximum player count of Keyflower?
6.
Name a game designed by Uwe Rosenberg.
Caverna.
Name a game published by Splotter Games.
Food Chain Magnate.
Name a game with pirates.
Maracaibo.
Name a game that has a BGG weight between 2 and 3.
Wingspan. Uwe Rosenberg
That's
was
it.
the
Yeah.
was the field of
Okay,
Arle.
let me just-
Maracaibo's a good catch, by the way.
well done.
Well done.
Okay,
Very
let
good.
me just calculate Ipo's score.
I think he beat me.
You said 2007 for Through the Ages, A Story of Civilization. It's 2006. You were so close. Okay.
Okay, just give it to me. I mean,
Ipo, 11 points so far
Well
in
done,
the
Ipo.
lead.
thank you.
You guys enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah, that
it's
was
very
amazing
stressful.
questions.
Okay, great. Let's do this. Okay,
The
Elias,
pressure's
you
all on
ready?
Elias now, though.
Ready.
So, no pressure.
I would like to video record this because I just want to transfer the situation to our listeners. Elias closed his eyes in order to
I'm
To
trying
prep.
to, I'm trying to
Glasses as
feel
well.
the answer.
and win for America.
He turned his
Canada.
cap backwards. He took his glasses off. He's
We
serious.
said we're representing the continent.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, even Uruguay.
ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Name the publisher of Small World.
Days of Wonder.
Name the designer of 5 Tribes.
Bruno Cathala.
Name a steampunk-themed game.
Mission Red Planet.
Name a game designed by Cory Konitska.
Eldritch Horror.
Name a game published by Stronghold Games. Another game.
You threw me off. La Granja.
Name a game with a fox.
Fox in the Forest.
Name a game ranked between 50 and 100 on BGG.
Lords of Waterdeep.
Name a publisher of Name a publisher of Blood Rage.
Cool Mini or Not.
Name a designer of Imperial Settlers.
Portal Games.
Designer.
Ignacy Ceviche.
In what year was Agricola released?
2010.
What is the maximum player count of Decrypto?
6.
Name a game designed by Reiner Knizia.
Tigris and Euphrates.
Name a game published by Czech Games.
Through the Ages.
Name a game with thieves.
Stop Thief.
Name a game that has a BGG weight between 1 and 2.
Baron Munchausen. Extraordinary Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
What year was Terra Mystica released?
2012.
What game won Spiel.Digital 2019?
Just one.
What is the maximum player count of Deception Murder in Hong Kong?
12.
I'm out of questions. You want me to re-ask you the ones you got wrong?
Yeah, ask me the ones I got wrong.
In what? Okay. What is the maximum player count of Decrypto?
8.
And the winner of this week's Game Show of the Week is Elias with 17 points.
I'd like to.
Ipo as a runner-up with 11 points, and Byron in third with 9 points. Thank you, everyone.
I would like to congratulate Sean Holmstrom. Congratulations, my man. You just won Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. But let's face it, you won it when you drew me as your contestant.
Oh, snap.
I'll be in touch soon to get your address so that we can send the game out to you. And congratulations. We hope you enjoy it. And well done. Congrats. Everyone give a round of applause to Sean Holmstrom for winning the award.
Yeah.
All right.
And apologies to my friend. What was his name?
Vijaya Raj 613. And
Sorry, Vijaya.
Byron tried to win for Sadai, but he came in yesterday. So
Oh.
No complaints.
All right, guys. You guys should be happy for the people who won. You're not supposed to be sitting
Oh
there.
yeah, I'm happy. I'm so happy for them. Not for you.
Congrats to all the participants. Thank you for joining and listening in. And congrats to
Sean Holmstrom.
Sean Holmstrong.
To all our listeners, this was our final episode. Thank you for listening.
And that was Game Show of the Week. I got 99 seconds.
Thank you very much, Dima. That was wonderfully done. You guys hear anything? Did you guys hear something?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I hear something from a Santorini restaurant in New York.
In New York. Wow. It's traveling a long distance. Do you know? It's time for the Ippokratic Corner!
Yeah. Guys, welcome to the Ippokratic Corner.
Every time.
For this week, we have a top 3. Yeah, it's this time of the
Surprise!
episode.
Surprise,
Where-
it's the top 3.
where our fellow podcasters, my fellow podcasters, should tell me what would be their top 3 of the games in this hypothetical situation where you're traveling to a country where board games are banned for some reason.
And for those of you
Top
that
3
understood hypothetical,
Yeah, it's hypothetical.
It's good. It's good. It was like a pun on
yeah, I
hypothetical.
loved it.
He said hypothetical.
Ah.
So I want you to tell me your top 3 games to sneak in the country and give them to your friends there. Remember, this is a strange country. Yeah. Byron, would you like to go first?
I would, Ippo. How did you know?
Is it because he raised his hand?
Oh, I was just guessing. It's a thing I have that I can read other people's minds.
I'm gonna call dibs either on last or next because I feel mine's not serious. So
Mine's terrible too.
so it shouldn't be taken seriously.
Okay, you go next because I want to go last.
So,
Okay, Byron. Yeah.
in true fashion, I put very minimal thought into this top 3, as I have with every top 3.
That's what our listeners paid
And-
all that money for.
And it's really what the listeners deserve. So I'm giving them exactly what they want. In my number 3 slot, it was a toss-up between Codenames or Spyfall, because I figure if you're sneaking games into a country, you gotta be able to speak in code, man. You gotta be able to
good
communicate
one.
with each
I
other.
like
Decrypto.
that.
You should have gone decrypto.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't played Decrypto, so that's why I didn't
Okay.
include it.
Okay,
But you gotta know those code words.
it's good.
Love it.
In-
Love it.
In my number 2, along the same sort of lines, is Taboo, because you also gotta know what words not to say
Eh.
in case you get caught. And that makes a big difference. If the government catches you with it, you gotta know what not
Yeah,
to
you
say.
don't say it's a board game. You say it's a cardboard exploration of.
It's a step-by-step guide prophylaxis.
It's a prophylaxis.
Oh, you're using fancy Greek words now.
Ah,
Also known as an epilaxis.
and then in my number 1 slot, because if you're sneaking stuff into a country, it generally means you're a terrorist. So therefore, your game that you deserve is Dear Leader.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
Because then you can say all those terrible things about your leader and hopefully get killed because you're a terrorist. That's what happens.
Well, that happened. I can't criticize anything Byron said because I followed along very similar lines from my So
Dear leader might actually help the people there to survive, I guess.
So for mine, the main thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that they always remember the huge risk that I put myself through for their enjoyment forever and ever and ever. I'd like them to remember what I did for them. So
number 3 is Risk Legacy.
so number 3 is Cornish Smuggler, which is a game about smugglers in the 18th century in Cornwall, selling goods for gold, employing a network of local characters, secret knowledge, hidden locations, bribes, dirty tricks, and a healthy dose of cunning to evade the attentions of the customs officers and the other players. So every time they played, they'd be like, speaking of smuggling, do you remember my friend Elias, who smuggled this game in for us for our happiness? Also, I don't want it in my collection, so I'm happy to give it to them. So the next game on my list, Smugglers, which is a game about hiding contraband pieces in balls of Play-Doh and squeezing them through a fence. So it's a board game you can get, and there's little things, cubes and stuff that you have to smuggle, and you put them and you shape the ball of Play-Doh, and then you try to slide that through a fence. So every time they played, they'll be like, this reminds me of when my friend Elias smuggled in these board games in a giant ball of Play-Doh.
except he didn't have a fence, so he had to put them somewhere else.
Well, that's what they call the customs agency at that country. The fence. That's the nickname on the DL. And my number one.
Wait, Elias, I want to say you cannot make up games.
I did it. It's a real game. Look up BGG.
This can,
Actually, I kind of want to get Smugglers after that. Yeah. And my number one, Sheriff of Nottingham, which is a game about sneaking contraband in a velvet pouch and bribing the sheriff. And I just want them to remember every time they see it what I went through and who I had to bribe to get this game into them. It's also a game I actually recommend. Of the three on the list, I do recommend Sheriff of Nottingham because literally, and this is the entire reason, because of the snapping of that little button on the pouches, because you could bribe the sheriff, you could take your bribe, and he could just go, snap. And once that's open, it's open and you're fucked. So hats off to my number one game, Sheriff of Nottingham. So they always remember what I put myself through for their enjoyment. This is my top three.
That was amazing.
Thank you very much, Elias. Yeah, it makes total sense.
For an egotist such as yourself.
Dima, please go ahead with your top three.
Okay, so I took a different approach. Okay, so my number 3 is Cockroach Poker because I figured they would be able to lie and be deceitful and have fun, like with no consequences, you know? Because they're probably living in a place where they need to get it like out of their heads a little. It must be a super boring place and restrictive since no board games are allowed. My number 2 is I wanted to bring a little bit of magic into their lives. Maybe, you know, just the ideas for entertainment. So I put Tricarian. Like a magic themed game might inspire them to do things differently, like different forms of entertainment other than board games.
I just want to say, you know, it's not real magic.
Yeah, I like magic tricks, but like, you know, just spice up their
I can't
lives
follow
a
your
little.
thought.
Me neither.
I can't follow your thought, but
honestly,
I like the way you're thinking.
in a kind of strange way that I can sort of understand through like a barrier of concrete.
My number one's not
That's why
going to
we
make
have
any
Dima
sense.
on the podcast because she always brings that unique thought wave.
So my number 1 is to give them, you know, a sense of hope, you know, dream of life beyond the horizon. So my number 1 is Black Angel.
What?
A game of space and just like having them dream of, you know, a life where they're not on Earth in this really crappy country that they're in where they have a lot of restrictions.
It's amazing.
Dima, did you use like a board game name generator to make
she
this list?
she used the randomizer, the BGG. It's amazing she picked Black Angel though, because in a country where you don't have a voice, what's better than a game where an AI makes all the decisions thematically? Representation of humanity. Let's go.
Maybe AIs would be better than humans.
We're not getting back into this, Dima. We depressed our listeners enough last time.
Yes.
We lost a bunch of listeners.
Thank you all for listening. Those are my top 3.
Sounds like the best dystopia there. Okay, thank you very much, Dima.
Really? Are we thanking her for this one?
I was lazy with my homework, but
yeah,
she feels a lot lazier.
Yeah, I didn't think it could be more cobbled together than Byron's, but turns out it can. Dima walks downstairs, looks at our shelf, and goes, "Black Angel, Tricky."
Yeah, which games haven't I had on the list before?
Like, if I had asked if these games were like random games or the picks of Dima, what would you say before the top
random game?
Like,
you know those games where you get 3 things or 4 things and you have to find the common relationship between them? I have no idea.
The only relationship is that they're owned by Elias.
Guys, the common relationship is that they have to get out of their head.
Oh my god!
You get it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I
You
understand
mean
that.
you're going to smuggle in
let's just-
those giant boxes just for the sake of them getting out of their head?
Thank you, Byron. Because I was going to say that in my train of thinking, I was thinking the box should be small of these games, okay?
Yeah, Tricarion is a heavy game. Like,
Yeah, like
Black
terms of
Angel is
weight.
bigger than Tricarion.
It's huge.
Black Angel, yeah, it's just sweets that I have brought here from Lebanon, baklava.
Baklava. That's how you pronounce it. Black Angela. Black. Oh, yeah.
It's Greek, so the letters are different.
So one of the criteria was to have a small box, and the second one was that the idea of the game should support their struggle for freedom.
Oh my god.
That was my idea of picking.
Oh,
Remind them of
I
the
know what you
misery
got.
they're
I know
in.
what you
I know
got.
it's number one.
So my number 3 game is Spyfall.
Oh, that's not what I thought was going to happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you need to lie effectively in this society.
Okay.
Okay, and Spyfall helps on that. My number 2 game is The Resistance, Avalon, because of course,
Of course.
the Resistance is part of what you're trying to do there, and the game teaches you to pick up the right commandos on this fight, on this struggle. And my number 1 game,
Can I guess?
Yes,
Based
please.
on your criteria.
Yes,
It's a Greek civil war.
Wer sind das Volk?
that was I thought about this,
Oh, okay.
but it's not. It's Pax Porfiriana.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Pax Porfiriana
Because-
is not about struggle for freedom. It's about you taking power from a dictator through either martial law, anarchy, or loyalty. It's the opposite.
It's about learning how to topple your government.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Ipo. You went deep.
Ipo about to topple a government with Pax Porfiriana.
So it's safe to
It's
say
basically-
Elias had the best list. I had the second. And then I don't know about Timo and Nico anymore.
I don't know. If we add Ipo's criteria of small games, your list is better than mine. So let's just say me and you actually did a good job, and the rest of them just put random shit on a list. So
They're just lots of shelves.
So as we used to do in this Ippokratic Corner, we have always a guest designer that he shares his
always.
thoughts with.
Always, yeah. It's a very common occurrence.
The one time we've done it.
Is it Cousin Jamie again?
He's just gonna give every week.
No.
Cousin Jamie's his mafia name.
This time, our guest designer is Richard Wilkins, also known as Ricky Royal.
Oh, I love Ricky Royal. Dima,
Ricky
he
Royal.
designed Renegade.
Oh, yeah. He's amazing.
Oh, I know him.
Yes, he designed Renegade, which is has a 7.8 rating in BGG,
Phenomenal game.
and it was voted best strategy game of 2018.
Was it
he has
really?
the box of, yes,
That's amazing.
he has the Box of Delights YouTube channel, so you can find him there.
Speaking
And-
on your connection to Pax Porfiriana, the only reason I learned how to play Pax Porfiriana is because I watched Ricky Royal's playthrough of the game
Seriously,
and Pax Pamir. Like, it just wasn't grokking in my head when I was reading the book. And it's not just that. Mage Knight, which we played very early in my board gaming career, I couldn't understand the rule book. His playthrough saved me. And War of the Ring. All those games, fully credit to Ricky Royal. That's the only reason I figured out how to play the game. So he really helped us out. So awesome, dude.
Also, Ricky Royal designed some expansions for Mage Knight and Robinson Crusoe, and he also developed the solo rules for Pax Pamir.
That's right. The one with Shere Khan. That's right. Yeah.
So he sent me an email, Ricky.
Since you're
And
best
I'm
friends
just
now.
going Yeah, I'm just going to read you the email who says, "Hello, Ippokratis. Can I call you Ippokratis?"
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's his name, but like you can call him Ippo the Greek. That's another one we use, or Mr. Gnostopulus.
You can even call him HD No Stop.
Yeah.
Shout out to Story Smiths.
no, my username in BGG is Civil.
No one calls you civil.
No one calls.
Yeah.
You're not very civil.
No.
I'm a civil engineer. That's anyway.
Very
Anyway.
creative naming.
So for Ricky, thank you very much, Ricky. He says top 3 to sneak in. He says, okay, I'm assuming small, like underpants small. Is a prerequisite. He says, okay, I have quite big underpants. So here we go. Number 1, Friday.
Oh.
It's small. It's a great introduction to solo gaming and to deck building. And it's an icon of modern solo gaming. You might even persuade customs people that it's a survival guide, not a game.
That's the Friedman Fries one that I gave you, right, Ippo?
Exactly, yes. His second game is Greenland. Sierra Madre's series of small box games pack a massive punch. They made the writing really, really small to fit in.
That's a good one. The customs officials will start to read this and they won't be able to tell if it's a rule book or like a medical journal.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Wait, isn't that the game that Sergio called you from Qatar?
Yes. So, quick story, not to interrupt Mr. Wilkins, but I just moved to Canada at this time, and this is before COVID. So they all met up in Qatar, all my previous game group, Ippo and these guys, and someone had bought a copy of Greenland, and I receive a call from Qatar. And I picked it up. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, it's Sergio." I was like, "How you doing, Sergio?" He's like, "Listen, real quick, could you teach us Greenland?" because I teach all the games usually at Board Game Night, or at least 90% of them. So he literally called me, and this is what we call from now on. We refer to as the period of adjustment, and how to draw your own borders and your outline, what not to cross.
7 degrees of separation.
Exactly, a little bit of
We miss you, Elias. we really do.
I'll see him once a month. That's enough.
Okay, so I will continue about Greenland, what Ricky says. Card-based, these games deliver on gameplay and are often pretty heavy-going. Greenland is my favorite, with super artwork of the wildlife you'll find there, and the mechanisms reflect strongly the struggle for survival for the people who inhabited these lands through history.
Excellent.
Okay, so it makes sense. Number 3, Cosmic Wimpout. I didn't know that game.
Wipeout?
This Wipeout, the smallest and the classic from 1975. It is literally 5 dice in a plastic suppository. Okay, that last bit is a bit of a push.
I'm looking at the picture. That's a big suppository.
He has a good
He
sense
says it's
of
a bit of a
humor. I'll
push.
give him that.
I would call it a butt plugatory.
But this is a great little push your luck game for gamers and non-gamers alike. Whip it out and surprise all your friends with just how lucky they are. It's a hidden gem that can be easily hidden where you hide your gems.
All right, we got to take off our hats to Ricky Royal for coming up with the absolute best top 3 of all 5 of us. So well done.
I love it.
Yeah.
And his presentation was amazing. I loved it.
You could feel the character even without the character.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if he remembers this, just a random thing. In our very first episode, we discussed Renegade. And we literally had like no listeners at that point. And he retweeted and shouted us out and said, "Listen to this podcast. Pretty cool." And I've always really appreciated that. So, So thank you for that. And of course, if you're a solo gamer, you know who Ricky Royal is, right? Like that's all I have
exactly.
to say. If you're
he's my cousin Ricky.
if you're not a solo gamer, it's a really great way to learn how to play games because you get to see things in actions, and he does a great job of explaining them, and it comes in bite size. I actually have his PAX Emancipation playlist sort of saved for the moment because I want to watch that and finally get it to the table. So thank you so much, Richard. You are the man. You already know it. And that was an amazing top 3. Although, if you are calling that a suppository, I worry for you. Just a little. And that was our top 3.
That was our top 3. Thank you, all 4 of you. And to our listeners, please let us know your top 3 games to sneak into that shitty hole of a country that banned board games on our Twitter account at TT Sessions QA or over at our BGG Guild. Both these links will be in the episode description.
Thank you very much, Ippokratic, for that wonderful Ippokratic Corner. This is what we call professionalism. That brings us to the end of this tabletop session. Thank you so much for listening. Congratulations again to Sean Holmstrom, the winner of our Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion worldwide giveaway. I'll be in touch as soon as this episode drops to get your details so we can have the game sent to you ASAP. Please check out everyone, not just Sean, please check out our very active Instagram account at Tabletop Sessions. And you can reach us through Twitter at TT Sessions QA or join the conversation over at our Board Game Geek Guild. And you can find the link to all of these in the episode description. Thank you again to Richard Wilkins, aka Ricky Royal. Please go check out his YouTube channel, which is Ricky Royal, and let him know we sent you there and enjoy. I know that once you start watching it, you're gonna keep watching it. It's fantastic content and great stuff. So go check him out. Thank you again, Richard. That was very kind of you to get back to us. We'll be back in 3 weeks. And until then, to quote one of my favorite writers, God damn it, you've got to be kind. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Tabletop top. Tabletop. Tabletop. Tabletop top. Session.
Okay, everyone. These are the game rules for today. I need to go pee.
That stays.